Now our third down segment. This one's going to be fun, and it was an interesting one. I was trying to search for something good for third down, so I ran across this article from Bleacher Report. So the Bleacher Report lists their top 10 flukiest teams of all time. And if you haven't had a chance to see that, I will leave a link again here on the side and in the description below of their top 10 list of the flukiest teams of all time in the NFL. I won't go over that whole list now, but I will go over some notable teams on this list. So let's start with the ones where I kind of agree with them. I'll start at number 5. So number 5, they have the 2011 Denver Broncos. Now, for those of you that don't remember that team, this was the team led by Tim Tebow, where he led them to the playoffs, and they beat the Steelers on a 80-yard walk-off pass from Tebow to Demaryius Thomas. I mean, it was that team was winning a lot of close games in the fourth quarter that year. If you ask Skip Bayless, it was due to Tim Tebow, that Tim Tebow factor. He definitely assisted that team. He definitely didn't get a fair shot in the league, but that team was a little fluky. Obviously, Tim Tebow, I don't think he started after that again, at least for the Broncos. So, definitely worthy of being on that list of the top 10 flukiest teams of all time. And then a couple other ones where I don't strongly agree or strongly disagree. They're just like, whatever. It makes sense. Number 4 is the 2007 Cleveland Browns. This one was led by Derek Anderson. They had Braylon Edwards, Kellen Winslow Jr. on the offense. They won 10 games that season, but in Browns fashion, whenever they have success, they also have bad luck. They lost a tiebreaker to the Steelers that year, who were also 10-6, I believe. So they actually missed the playoffs with their 10-6 season. And usually a 10-6 season is good enough for a wild card, but it just wasn't that year. And the Browns missed out on the playoffs. And, obviously it was all downhill from there for the Cleveland Browns. And they're still looking to get some type of success with the 10-6 record. They would kill for that type of record right now. And then number 3 was a 2008 Miami Dolphins. This one was with Ronnie Brown, who actually came out the same year as Braylon Edwards, but it was Ronnie Brown and the Wildcat. And this was when the Wildcat kind of, it was the new thing in the NFL. The Dolphins actually, I don't want to say they started it, but they brought attention to it in the NFL. It was pretty successful that year. Again, they had some success in running the Wildcat. And you could argue that they ran the Wildcat because they had Chad Pennington at quarterback. So definitely a fluky team. They didn't win anything. Again, these teams are teams that haven't won anything. And then number 1, this one I strongly agree with. I have a vested interest in this team being number 1 on this list. So the 2008 Arizona Cardinals. This was the team that went to the Super Bowl that year to play the Steelers, where they lost in the Super Bowl. If you do not remember, this is also the year that the Cardinals beat the Eagles in the NFC Championship game in Arizona. Now, the Eagles played them on Thanksgiving and whooped them by like 20, 30 points in Philadelphia. And for whatever reason, the Cardinals pretty much snuck in. They backed into the playoffs. And Kurt Warner went on this crazy run with Larry Fitzgerald, and for whatever reason, again they took out the number 1 seed Carolina Panthers that year with, I can't remember who's the quarterback for them, Jake Delhomme. Yeah, Jake Delhomme for the Carolina Panthers. This is before Cam Newton, and with Steve Smith, I believe, as well. But the Arizona Cardinals beat them and then got to host the Eagles, because the Eagles, I believe, were a wild card team at the time in Arizona. And Arizona is one of those teams I just cannot stand. And specifically due to this, like I said, I am biased when it comes to this, but the Cardinals should be number 1 on this list. I still remember it like it was yesterday in the NFC Championship game. The Cardinals, 4th down, the Eagles came back. The Cardinals ended up scoring, okay, whatever. The Eagles were about to come back, and he's about to make a comeback with Donovan McNabb. And on fourth down, the referee swallows the whistle on a blatant pass interference on Kevin Curtis, who was covered by former Eagle Roderick Hood. I mean, like I said, I could recall the play like it was yesterday. It's stuck in my brain. The Eagles definitely would have won the Super Bowl that year. We beat the Steelers also that same year. And again, for whatever reason, on fourth down in Arizona, the referee swallows the whistle. And to be honest, the Cardinals are one of those teams where, man, there's a lot of home cooking when it comes to the referees. For whatever reason, and this has been well documented by players as well, that, referees are, they call the games very weird when it's in the Cardinal Stadium. So I think the Cardinals are deserving of that number one spot. I live in Arizona, and I don't give a damn what the Cardinal fans say. They should be number one. That was a fluke season. They never made it back to the Super Bowl after that. So, it is what it is. Now, here's a few that I don't agree with being on the list. I will start at number 6 and go the opposite way. So, number 6, they had the 2017 Jacksonville Jaguars. This one was baffling to me. The Jacksonville Jaguars actually had a good team. Now I'm assuming they put this team as fluky because Jacksonville hadn't had that much success since then. But at the same time, they essentially got rid of all their best players. Some of the guys retired. The team was ripped apart for whatever reason in 2017 after 2017 season. And Blake Bortles was one of the reasons why they weren't that good after the 2017 season. They made it to the AFC Championship game and lost to the Patriots. I think that the Patriots had to come back and win that game. It was sealed by a pass deflection or interception by Stephon Gilmore. I can't remember the specifics, but no, Jacksonville had a great team. Their defense was elite, like one of the best defenses of the decade. Jalen Ramsey. They had A.J. Boye on the other side, Telvin Smith, Calais Campbell, Jackson in the front as well. I mean, they had guys. So I'm not sure why they were on this list. Again, they didn't repeat that success, but that was because the team got ripped apart. And some of their top guys retired and went elsewhere. So I don't want to say that was a fluke team. They're actually legit. I thought they were going to go right back to the playoffs, but they were just missing a quarterback. Number 9 was the 2012 Ravens, the Baltimore Ravens. Now, this one, I think, actually thinking about it, I think the Ravens should be on this list. This one, I think, was the one where they went against Denver, and it was like the Hail Flacco. I have to go back and check, but it was where Denver essentially had the game won, and they were in prevent defense, and I can't remember the bozo that was in the back on prevent defense that bit up and let Jacoby Jones pass him for the game-winning touchdown. But now thinking about it, yeah, the Ravens probably should have been on this list. I'll take that back. They probably should have been on this list. But in the Super Bowl, they won fair and square. The lights got turned off by somebody in the San Francisco organization, and they gave up the lead and almost lost a close game, but they won. Yeah, you know what? That is fluky. They deserve to be on this list. They deserve to be higher than 9. I'll tell you that. So I take that one back. And this one's on the fly. This one I had as one I don't agree with, but after actually speaking about it, they should be on this list and they should be higher. Number 10 was the 2001 New England Patriots. This is one I don't agree with. This is the start of their dynasty. So I don't think I need to add anything on top of that. This is their first Super Bowl championship that started their dynasty again with Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. So how they're on the top 10 flukiest teams of all time is baffling, to say the least. But check that out. Again, I left the link in the description below, and I'll leave it here. That pops up. Just make sure you click on that eye in the corner, and then you could check the link there. But check those and let me know what you guys think as far as the top 10 flukiest teams of all time. What do you think? Did they get it right? Do you think they got this right? I want to hear it. Leave a comment in the comment section below with the ones that you agree with and the ones that you don't agree with. Thanks for stopping by. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button for more fire sports takes. And for those of you who are on the go, make sure you subscribe to our full show, which airs every Thursday on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and a bunch more. Until then, I'm chucking it up, and I'll see you guys next time.